it's Rachel from Sweet and Simple Home, and today is a very exciting day. It is book club day. I'm so excited to share with you my thoughts and takeaways from this month's book club book, Loving the Home You Have by Melissa Michaels. I was invited by Hillary at my so-called home to go over this book and share with you guys what I learned from it in order to kind of promote this book club and read these books together that can better our homes and our lives. And I have to say, this is one of the best homemaking books that I have ever read. I really enjoyed the wisdom that Melissa shared and just the really practical tips that you can apply right away, and also just the really deep reflective type questions that she poses to you as her reader that really make you question what it is that's causing you to not love the home you have. So I walked away learning so much from this book, learning a lot about myself as well, and just really loving it overall. But I'm just going to go right in and share with you my thoughts on each of the chapters one by one. So in the introduction, she talked about how home is in the heart of the beholder. And she shared this quote: "The memories, the love, and the personal touches we put into our home will transform it from a basic structure to a place that actually enhances our life. The more we invest ourselves in each corner of our home, the more emotionally connected we become." And I love that. I feel like that quote alone could summarize the whole book. So chapter 1 was called Hello Dream House, and she really encouraged you as the reader to revisit those childhood dreams of what you dreamed your house would be, and that it's okay to continue to be a dreamer about your house as an adult. She said the desire to transform our everyday experience empowers us to live a full and meaningful and contented life. And the God who created you and the beauty outside your front door will delight in being reflected throughout your home. I love this. You guys know that I am a Christian, and I didn't realize when I first read this book that there would be little glimpses of her faith, and I really appreciated that she shared that. Faith wasn't the true focus of the book, but she definitely mixed it in as it was appropriate, and I just absolutely loved this quote, because that's how I feel that, I have a passion for creating beauty because my creator is passionate about creating beauty. So anyway, that was a great quote. Chapter 2, she talked about how getting there is half the fun. And she shared all these awesome stories of how she had learned all these different lessons from the different homes that she had lived in, from the very first condo they had to this huge Tudor castle, she called it, to this cute cottage, to a rental, and the things that she had learned. And I loved reading those stories. Those were really fun to read. And she said, your house is enough. You have enough to make it your home. Because she learned, as she thought, well, I just need a bigger house and then I'll feel like it's my dream house, or I just need a more charming house and then I'll feel like it's my dream house. And every time she got to the bigger house or the better house or the more charming house, she realized, this still doesn't really feel like it. And the reflection question she had in this chapter really had a profound impact on me. She had us go through and kind of think about our past homes and reflect on what we learned from living there. And I learned so much. There's houses that I was actually sort of mad that we had to live there because it was just such a terrible place to live. That had a huge, almost healing effect on me as I read that chapter and kind of reflecting on that part of my life. So really great stuff in that chapter. Chapter 3, she talked about saying goodbye to unrealistic expectations, and I really needed to hear this as well. She said, we can be hard on ourselves for expecting our homes to be closer to perfect, and then hard on ourselves again for not being content when they aren't. When we try to find peace in unrealistic expectations of what our home should be like, we perpetuate an endless cycle of guilt and shame. Boom. That was getting hit with this ton of bricks. Seriously, that is me. I do that, people. So the next thing that just really blessed me to read was, we were created in the image of God, so our desire for order makes perfect sense. I believe our longing for beauty hints at our identity as a reflection of our Creator rather than a flaw in our character. I love this because I used to think that it was wrong that I placed value in making my space look beautiful when there are starving people around the world. Like, is this really where my time and energy should be going? Shouldn't I be doing something different? But I love that she said that, like, we're creative. Our creator is very creative, and it's okay if that comes out through us. In fact, that's a blessing. That's a good thing. And it's not about making your home perfect, but more likely perfect for you and what works for you and your family, and how home is a process. Art is a process. Our homes are this blank canvas just waiting for us to put our splashes of color and true character into, so that it's this beautiful work of art. Okay. Chapter 4, she talked about the freedom of authenticity. And this quote, it was right at the beginning of every chapter. She has a little quote underneath it. And I love this quote. It's from Robert Louis Stevenson. To know what you prefer instead of humbly saying amen to what the world tells you you ought to prefer is to have your soul alive. So I really love that. So she talked about how there's no shortcut to designing a meaningful place for your family. There's just no shortcut. So she said, creating a home is an adventure of discovering what makes us come alive. The things that are most authentic are often the most meaningful to us. She talked about how we bring beauty to our experience one layer at a time. And she's also talked about how you, as the decorator of your home, are always in style, because being authentic is always in style. Chapter 5 was called A Beautiful Mess. And she talked about how when you're living your life, it's always full of these little messes, and that's okay. And in fact, those messes are a sign that this is where you live and where you're growing your family. And I just loved everything she had to say about that. And she said a well-loved home will always be a bit of a beautiful mess. I loved what she said about magazine cover-itis. We don't have to be magazine ready all the time. And she shared her personal story of how a magazine came in, and they actually don't do the whole house. They only do these little bits, and they're more interested in the authentic pieces of life rather than the perfectly styled vignettes. She said, remember to see the messy evidence of a life well lived as a beautiful reminder of what you love. I love that. I feel like I should put that on a pillow somewhere. So chapter 6 was all about decluttering, which you guys know I love to talk about. And I felt like this book was the perfect follow-up to last month's book, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, because of all the wonderful things she had to say. I just felt like was the perfect follow-up. So chapter 6 was decluttering the nooks and crannies. So she said, taking care of our home is one of the most important ways we can take care of ourselves. Amen? Amen. She said to invite other people over to give you the motivation to get tasks done. She shared the true problem of mess. This is what she had to say. When we let the clutter multiply around us, we don't know when to say yes to something new, when to say no to something we don't need, or how to let go of what we have. We become managers of things, shufflers of papers, searchers of lost keys. We are anxious instead of peaceful. We waste hours of our lives on things that don't matter to us. And we have no time to make our home a launching pad for our family's dreams and goals. Oh, does that not get you? Does that not get you in your heart? That we are managers of things, anxious instead of peaceful. This is the reality of having a home that needs to be decluttered. She talked about creating clutter-free destinations in your home as a fix for this. So if every little corner of your house has a purpose, you're less likely to fill it with clutter because you don't want the clutter to mess up this great purpose that you've given these places in your home. It kind of gives a priority for this space, and I thought that was really wise and good advice. Chapter 7, she talked about the reward of daily routines, which of course I also loved. She says what you do every day matters more than what you do once in a while. And I feel like that applies across the board in life, but very true when it comes to home management as well. She talked about her 4 routines. She has a morning routine where she always makes her bed, which I agree with is very powerful to get your day going. She talked about doing 2 things to help you be productive and energized, and 2 to inspire you in the morning. And I liked that, and it really kind of made me evaluate how I'm approaching my morning. She shared about sink scrubbings and having these daily housekeeping habits and how they're like dominoes, that one successful task will lead to another. So chapter 8 was all about the Clean Enough House, which was also a really powerful chapter for me. I loved what she says. A clean enough house empowers us to be more. while doing less to stay ahead of the chaos. Oh, love that. Great advice. Once you start negotiating which part of your routine you do or do not do, it's hard to get back to normal. So true. So she talked about kind of saying to yourself, I deserve to wake up to a clean kitchen. Yes, I do. I work hard as a mom and I deserve this to be done. I don't need to wake up to this disaster. I need to do it and wake up refreshed and with a clean kitchen and ready to go. She talked about how you need to allow your home to evolve, improve, and get cleaner and more organized over time. I think that we can put pressure on ourselves, even with books like The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. It's like supposed to be this one fell swoop kind of thing where your home is organized. I think that in doing the KonMari method, I am organizing my home, but I don't know if it's ever going to be done. And that's the thing that is important to remember, that it's always evolving, always improving, always getting more organized with all the effort that I put forth. And that was a blessing to read. Chapter 9, she talked about adding charm and character. She talked a lot about this term, authentic style, and I really enjoyed this term. She said, your home is the most charming when it reflects your heart, soul, way of living, history, everything you love. Love that. Love that that's what authentic style means. I want my home to have authentic style. She said to create a home inspired by your life and what you love, and then your home will inspire you. This is so true. She talked about creative concealment, hiding the ugly, transforming the unlovely, and distracting from the hideous with more creative than cash. I like that. More creative than cash. So yeah, creative concealment, it can definitely help you divert your eyes from what you don't want to see when there's something that you just don't necessarily have the cash to fix. Chapter 10, love what you have even when you don't like it. To create an authentic home is to embrace the personality, quirks, limitations, and uniqueness of what you have to work with. Boom, there you go, folks. So she talked about using what you can find, embracing flexibility when making design decisions, kind of being flexible with what you can find. Use what you love. Actually use your special pretty stuff. She shared a personal story about that, like using things that you love instead of just using the plastic version because it's not as breakable, but use the glass pretty version that you love and enjoy it. I loved her advice about accessory size. This was such good advice. She says to go bigger and bolder rather than getting a bunch of little tiny tchotchkes. They're not going to make a huge statement in your home. They rarely ever will. It's the bigger, larger size. I think she says go for accessories that are bigger than what you think you need. And right here you can kind of see behind me, this apple is like large scale, and it's one of my favorite accessories. I think because it goes really bigger and makes a bigger splash than if I had just a small apple sitting there, it wouldn't have the same impact. So she talked about creating visual serenity. Pick one or two walls to be the focal point and let the rest be minimal with very little to nothing on it. And I am definitely learning how to do this better. She talked about how to choose one or two surfaces for accessories and let the rest of the surfaces breathe. And I like that idea that you're giving space for your house to breathe. So chapter 11, she talked about creating a haven, and I love this idea. I feel like that's my main purpose and hope for my home, is that it's a haven for my family and it's a haven for people in our community. Oh gosh, I'm getting emotional here. So I loved everything she had to say about creating a haven. I was like soaking it up like a sponge. She talked about making your home a place that welcomes, paying attention to the small details around your entry area, making it beautiful, making it functional, really investing in those details. It makes people feel cared for, the people who live there and the people who enter. I love this idea. She has like a tradition where they have a special greeting and welcome home type thing that they do every time they walk in the door, and I love that. She talked about having your home be a place of hospitality. Inviting others deepens our sense of community. And I just was like, amen. I literally said it out loud because it's so true. She talked about making our homes a place of order. Every time you say goodbye to something you don't need right now, you will breathe a little deeper. You cannot organize excess clutter. True that, yo. Chapter 12 was all about the seasons, and I knew Hillary was going to love this chapter. I'm excited to hear what she had to say about this chapter. She had a whole ode to fall, like this manifesto to fall, because she loves fall, which And most of us do, right? So she talked about how seasons offer us opportunities all through the year to refresh our home and rekindle our gratitude for what we have. Wonderful. And she cracks me up because she had this mullet example. You guys know the mullet, business in front, party in the back. Your transition to the next season, you know, shouldn't be like as drastic as the mullet. Which I thought was really funny. And she talked about giving yourself a season of grace at Christmas time, and she gave some really practical advice to gently usher in your Christmas decor and to start with natural items and have a more natural Christmas. And I kind of feel like that can be definitely taste sensitive because I tend to do more of a vintage Christmas look, but I do agree with the fact that you should gently utter things in at a pace that feels beautiful to you. Love that. So she talked about cherishing those sacred seasonal memories. There is a season for everything, and to take one as it comes and cherish it. And that's something I definitely want to do. I want to cherish the seasons I have with my children, especially because they're not babies anymore, and I just feel like it's going really fast, and I want to cherish it while I have it. So chapter 13, last chapter. Good job hanging in there, those of you who are still watching. She says to be happy at home, and she shared a very touching story about a really difficult time in their life when they were having a hard time paying their bills, and her mom got so sick they almost lost her, and just how like powerful that was for her to come home and just be so grateful for her home and having a place to come to when she was so weary. She talked about how the little things really are the big things. The little things are the true blessing. Such a good reminder, so wise. Cultivating happiness, it comes when we awaken to what we have already. I loved this quote as well. Often what we have, someone else is dreaming about. That was a big one for me. That was a big one for me. Often what we have, someone else is dreaming about. Now, at the end of this book, there is the 31-day challenge, and I'm so excited about this. I am going to be sharing with you guys as I go through the challenge videos of me going through the challenge, and I hope that's interesting to you, and I hope that you guys would want to join me in doing this challenge, especially if you've already read the book and have picked it up, because I think it's going to be really amazing. I've read through the first 3 challenges. I haven't done them yet. I read through them just to kind of get an idea, and already I just feel like this is going to be an awesome process. Just reading the book changed my heart and had an impact on me, so I'm really excited. I can't guarantee that there will be a video every day for the next 31 days, but I will video and share every challenge with you guys. So some of them I think I might combine as I'm editing, and some of them I'll probably just do one video and post it as I have time to upload and edit. You guys all know I'm a busy mom, but I definitely want to share this because I feel like this matters so much that I want to share it, and I want the word to get out about it. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed hearing my thoughts and takeaways from this fantastic book, Loving the Home You Have by Melissa Michaels. Hillary, I just want to give you my heartfelt thanks. You have been an encouragement to me from my very first video, and I'm so grateful to have a friend like you here on YouTube who will invite me to read this fabulous book that taught me more about my faith and more about my purpose as a homemaker. So thank you so much, and I hope you guys will all go check out Hillary's video. I am dying to hear what she has to say. I wish that we could like live close enough that we could sit down and have a cup of tea and just talk about it with each other face to face, because I have a feeling we would just talk for hours about this book, but we'll have to do it virtually over YouTube, and that's okay. So anyway, I hope you guys know how much I care about you all. I'm so grateful for all the wonderful new subscribers, and for those of you who have been with me from the beginning, thank you so much. This has been a wonderful journey, and I'm so excited to continue with the 31-day challenge and share it with you all. You guys take care. Bye.